Hi, Jen here from Jen Michelle Coaching, and today I want to talk about 3 ways you block him from being the man he's capable of being. For those of you new to my channel, I would love to invite you to subscribe. I release a video weekly. Number 1, we don't trust him to work through difficult emotions. This is a way we block a man from growing into his potential because we are so scared of him feeling or reacting to us in a certain way that we keep him nice and comfortable, not having to stretch himself in any way, but to just stay in this neat little box where he doesn't have to face any of his triggers, right? And no one can grow in this world. And in fact, it shrinks our world and makes us feel like we're living in a shoebox, right? So we want to actually, not intentionally poke the bear, but we want to be authentic and honest and tell the truth of what's going on, even if that means ruffling some feathers from time to time. Yes, there is an art to telling the truth, which means you're checking in with your system, you're calm, you're steady, you're coming from a place of love, you're not accusatory, you're not using a bunch of you statements, but you're also not afraid of him having an emotional reaction and needing some time and space to work through that, right? So this is something that we don't go into fix-it mode. Let's say you're with a man and he's like really angry or upset. And this can happen in my relationship too. Sometimes I like to use a personal example. If he's angry or upset, instead of trying to fix it, I typically just give him space and let him know, if you want to talk, I'm here. Otherwise, I'm just going to give you some space. Or I don't say anything and I just tend to myself. But I don't go jumping into the lake with him, right? This is where we want to really retrain ourselves to be steady and kind of be that lighthouse that I've talked about, but not go jumping into the river feeling like we need to go swimming in the difficult emotions with him. And trust that when he's ready to, come to shore, that we're there and we're ready and open and willing to talk about it. But we have to allow men to be able to move through something that's hard and witness them work through it and get to the other side so we can build deeper trust, faith, and intimacy together. Number 2, we mother him. This can look a bunch of different ways. It can look like overgiving, let me do all these things for you. Underneath the overgiving is often us not believing we're worthy just as we are, feeling like we have to earn love, right? It's also not trusting him to be able to do things for himself, or maybe our own fears or controls coming into play where we think it needs to look a certain way and we don't like the way he does it. So we're just going to innocently sweep in and do it. And as a result, he becomes complacent and unmotivated and just chills because he's got mom doing all the things, right? This is not going to support a man being a man and connecting to really the beautiful components of the masculine, which is motivation, which is forward thinking, being a visionary, bringing into motion things that we can't see as the feminine, right? So we want to support his gifts really coming online. And if we are thinking our way is the right way, we're not seeing our own blind spots and we're putting limitations on his growth potential. This leads me to number 3. We don't let him lead and we try to control him. If we view anything that goes off of our way or the way we see it as a threat, then he's going to be really limited and he is going to feel boxed in and he is going to lose confidence in his ability to lead. And then we are going to be growing in resentment and he's not going to feel good within the dynamic either. This happened to me really early on in my marriage. For those of you that have followed me for a while, my first year of marriage was a real awakening for me, right? Where it really brought to the surface all of my stuff that I was in a slumber with before. And it showed me wow, okay, it was my first layer of awakening where it was I need to make some changes within myself. I need to loosen my grip. I need to let go of all this fear and do some deeper work within myself. So the way that looked was trusting that there's so many different ways to get to the final destination. And in fact, looking back on my life, my husband had an ability to see things in a way that I couldn't. And his plan was often the riskier, but better long-term plan for our family and for me and for him, because he was really thinking comprehensively about all of us in a way that I couldn't. And so when we take a step back and we let a healthy man lead, I always get like little comments and notes. Well, what if he's unhealthy or toxic? I'm not talking about that. So of course you're going to have to be discerning in these videos to see if what I'm talking about applies to your situation, because I'm speaking to an overall healthy dynamic, but leaving room for a man to be a human, right? So we want to trust a healthy man to be able to get us from point A to point B without stepping in and intervening. Because if we want our man to be masculine, then we have to actually instill confidence in his leadership, meaning we have to trust his ability to lead. So that could look like, I trust you to make the right decision, whatever you think is best. Letting go, not stepping in to adjust, tweak, make all these sort of little modifications or adjustments to suit your comfort level, but to kind of like take that step back and let his confidence and empowered masculine begin to build. These are all beautiful ways where we help him rise into who he can truly be and serve the greater good of the relationship, the marriage, wherever you may be right now in your situation, or even those of you dating, a wonderful practice to embrace to build a beautiful foundation with a man. I hope these 3 tips are very supportive to you and any space you may be in right now with love or intimacy. If you are interested, I will be running my group again very soon, finalizing the dates for this summer, Rediscovering Your Feminine Essence. I've linked the waitlist below. For those of you that sign up on the waitlist, you will receive a free gift with enrollment. So sign up below if this speaks to you, and I will see you all next week.